Trustees, Village of Tinley Park, Oklahoma County, held on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Everyone please stand for the pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone please stay standing for 1 minute, please.
Mr. Mayor, on sad occasions, it's important to remember people that have been murdered. Today is the 18th year anniversary of our Lane Bryant murders. Still unsolved, but the police are continually working on it. We mourn and pray for the families that lost loved ones, as we do all the way back to Abe Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, to commemorate the day that they were murdered, as these ladies were. And please, dear God, take the pain and the suffering away from these people who survived. We ask this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Trustee Brady. Thank you. Madam Deputy Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee
Here.
Brennan? Trustee Mahoney?
Here.
Trustee Mueller?
Here.
Trustee Shaw?
Present.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
President Glass?
Present. Thank you. Item 1, is there a motion to consider approval of the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Madam Deputy Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Item number 2, is there a motion to consider approval of the minutes of the regular village board meeting held on January 20th, 2026?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Madam Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have item number 3, receive presentation of the Tinley Park Business Spotlight, Journey Through Time. Journey Through Time Antique Emporiums located at 17030 Oak Park Avenue is an antique shop featuring over 50 vendors selling antiques, vintage items, mid-century modern pieces, and collectibles. Before you go, we'd like to play the video that we have for you that we made.
Welcome in. I'm Jameson Bielik. This is Journey Through Time Antique Emporium in Tinley Park.
Welcome, Jameson.
Thank you, everybody. I'm Jameson Bielik. I'm the owner of Journey Through Time. First of all, I want to thank the mayor and the trustees and Lisa for all the work they did on helping us with this video. It's absolutely great. We've been open just under 2.5 years, and we've won a couple awards. We've been Best Antiques for 2024 and 2025 for the Daily Southtown, and we're just happy to be here. We're so glad that Tinley is here for us, and we can be here for the community every day. It seems like we just get busier and busier, and thank you very much for everything.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Next, we have item 4. And we're looking for an antique. You can follow them down Oak Park Avenue.
It's a very neat store. If you haven't been there.
It is. It's
recommend
pretty cool.
It's very, spend a lot of time in there.
I'd like to ask for a motion to consider the appointment of the following commissioner and associate member to the Veterans Commission for the fiscal year 2026.
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. I'd like to appoint to the Veterans Commission Stephen Nudwang and Nick Sullivan. Again, consider appointing the above-mentioned commissioners to the Veterans Commission for fiscal year '26. Are Stephen or Nick, or either of you here? Nope.
Nope.
Madam Deputy Clerk, call roll, please.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Shaw.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. You done?
I think so.
Item 5, I'd like to ask for a motion to consider appointing Suhab Berry to the position of data analyst.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Thank you. Has over 3 years of data analyst experience with expertise in healthcare data management, system integrations, and data visualization. Sorry. He has worked with data migration projects, optimizing database structures, and developing automated ETL pipelines. He holds a bachelor's degree in information sciences, has joined the village as a contractor in the IT department in 2025, and has been an asset to the team, is recommended for conversion to a full-time employee. Please consider appointing, Suhab to the position of data analyst effective February 9th, 2026. By any chance, are you here? Nope. Any questions for staff on the appointment? Nope. Madam Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Shaw.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 6, is there a motion to consider appointing Christopher Leviston to the position of Network and Security Administrator?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Chris has over 3 years of network security-related experience designing, implementing, and securing enterprise network infrastructures. He has a strong background in network security, data center design, and large-scale network migrations. He holds a multiple active industry certifications and demonstrates a strong commitment to network reliability and security. Chris joined the village as a contractor in the IT department in 2025 and has been an asset to the team. He is recommended for conversion to a full-time employee. Again, I'd like to ask you to consider appointing Christopher Leviston to the position of Network Security Administrator effective March 16th, 2026. Is Chris here? Nope. Any questions from the board? Madam Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Shaw.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Item 7, I'd like to ask for a motion to consider appointing Jalen Hasha to the position of Maintenance Technician.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Jalen joined the Public Works Department in a part-time maintenance position in 2024, supporting the Streets Division daily operations. His related prior experience includes 2 years as a landscape laborer and pool installer. Is self-motivated, reliable, and goal-oriented. These characteristics make him a highly qualified candidate for internal promotion. Again, I'd like to ask the board to consider appointing Jalen to the position of Maintenance Technician effective February 4th, 2026. Is Jalen here? Anything you want to say?
Finally.
I just want to say thank you to my friends and my family for coming out tonight. It means a lot. Mayor Galatz and the board, thank you for taking the time. I knew starting out I was going to have to do my time as a part-timer. A lot of the guys I work with let me know every day. So this means a lot to me. This is a career job I look forward to every day. Learning the ins and out of Tinley Park. It's a great community. I can't wait to, learn the ins and out, like I said, and make the best of it. Every day's a good day. Getting up, you can't hate something you love. So thank you very much, and be safe. Have a good night.
Congratulations. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thanks for showing up.
If you'd like, you can take a picture up here with the guys that harass you every day.
Want me to take a picture with your camera? All right, I'm going to take two, okay? There we go. One more picture.
Make sure I'm on.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, James.
Congrats.
I'll expect you to do things around the house now.
All right, there we go. Going from that, too. Like the paparazzi, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Sure.
Madam Deputy Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Item number 8, is there a motion to consider adopting Resolution 2026-R-010, authorizing the execution of applicable employee leasing agreement for finance professional services for a 12-month period? Oh, sorry, Billy.
Finish it, sir.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? Second. Go ahead, Bill, I'll let you finish. Sorry about that.
No problem. This item was discussed at the committee of the whole meeting held prior to this meeting. This resolution is eligible for adoption.
Fantastic.
Great job, Billy. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Madam Deputy Clerk, please call a roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Item 8, may I have a motion to consider approval of the following consent agenda items?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. The consent agenda items have been publicly posted and available for review according to the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Would anyone from the board like any of these items removed from the consent agenda tonight? Let the record reflect there are none. Madam Deputy Clerk, can you please call the roll on that?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have item number 10. You want to take this one, Bill, since I took yours? Go ahead.
I'd like to have the board consider adopting ordinance 2026-0-006, amending the chapter 120 of Title 11 of the Village Code related to regulation of tobacco products in the Village of Tinley Park.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Billy.
Thank you. The Village of Tinley Park is amending its tobacco license code to reduce the total number of available tobacco licenses. The change applies to both Class A and Class B total licenses, tobacco licenses, excuse me. Class A currently holds 25 available licenses, and that it will decrease to 19. Class B currently holds 11 available licenses, and that will decrease to 9. This item was discussed at the committee of the whole and was held prior to this meeting. This ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Nope. Madam Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Next, we have item 11. And before you go, Trustee Mahoney, I just want to add again, this is exactly the reason why it was passed at the Plan Commission 5-0, which only requires one reading. Thankfully, we extended it to 2 readings, just because a lot of people weren't able to come last meeting, whether they were sick or were working, so this is the exact reason why we did 2 readings. So, Trustee Dennis Mahoney, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move we consider adopting ordinance 2026-0-002, granting a special use for a substantial deviation from the Brookside Creek Retail Center, PUD, to allow for the development of a quick-service restaurant with drive-through at 7501 191st Street.
No, somebody's got a second.
Second?
Thank you. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, correct. Thank you. The request allows for the development of a quick-service restaurant with drive-through on lot number 7 in the Brookside Creek Retail Center on 191st and Harlem in the B3 PD zoning district. The proposal includes a McDonald's restaurant with a drive-through and outdoor dining area. The Plan Commission held a public hearing on December 18th of 2025 and voted 5-0 to recommend approval of the special use in accordance with the plans and findings of fact listed in the staff report. The Plan Commission recommended conditioning the approval of the special use to only allow operation between 5 a.m. and 11 p.m. This ordinance was introduced at the January 20th, 2026 Village Board meeting. The consensus of the Village Board was to remove the proposed hours of operation conditioned from the draft ordinance. This ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Thank you. Again, just like we had 2 readings, I'm going to do this a little different. For item 11, this is a very important topic to the residents, to the board, to staff, and to the business. But we could do, if you like, and then gives chance for people, whether it's staff or the board or the petitioner, to maybe address or answer some of the questions. I'd like to open it up to the public first, if you want to speak on this, and then we could try and answer any questions, or maybe the petitioner can. Pam, you're jumping at the, waiting to get out of your seat? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jennifer. Yeah, and then there's so we'll have a timer. And again, you can also, at the end of the meeting, do the same thing. So, Jen, you want to fire away?
I do. Thank you very much. I'm going to have to speak fast. Sorry.
6 minutes is a long time.
I know.
It's 3 minutes everywhere else.
I know,
Twice as
and I appreciate that. Thank you. Do I need to tell you who I am, or?
We all know who you are.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I first want to say that on the eve of January 22nd, I submitted 2 FOIA requests. One was not for tonight. The other one was for a total number of police calls in Will County, Tinley Park, from June to December of 2025. I didn't need police reports, didn't ask for personal names, business names, addresses, or even general locations, just the total number of calls. And out of that total number, I wanted to know between the hours of 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. how many calls there were. Unfortunately, I don't have that information tonight. They're still working on that apparently. So I cannot present those crime statistics to you when you go make your decision. Moving on, I'd like to read to everyone some portions of emails that I had sent to the mayor as well as to the trustees. I want to be very clear that we as residents are only asking that you limit the hours of operations during the overnight hours from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. McDonald's would still be operating for 18 hours a day. The Village of Tinley Park has a noise ordinance from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., actually 9 hours, not the 8 that I mistakenly put in my emails. We're asking for 6, 3 hours less than the village noise ordinance. So why would this particular business owner be granted special permission to operate his business in the overnight hours, and the residents that have been here for over 20 years do not get the same consideration as the rest of the residents in Tinley Park? I have always said I'm not against development or economic growth. I have publicly thanked the village staff and developer for working with us through this entire process. I'd like to talk about what happens next. After the development is finished and all the contractors go home, when the businesses are operating, assuming some are 24 hours, where does that leave our neighborhood? We are left with businesses operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with absolutely no breaks. No breaks from noise, There will be noise regardless of opinion, no break from constant stream of vehicles, headlights, loitering, and the possibility of more crime, especially on the nights of the concerts in the spring, summer, and fall. We'll have extra traffic to contend with, as well as people coming into the neighborhood. And the police department will feel the impact as well, because they will have more to patrol, and we are left with the fallout. Sorry, I'm trying to go quickly here. So my question to you, the trustees, is this: what is the benefit of having McDonald's 24-hour behind residential? Is it financial? The mayor stated in an email to me that the village's financial impact from sales tax is very low and not relevant. And I can assure nobody ever thought to vote yes for a sales tax for an extra 6 hours. So we've established it's not a financial benefit. Is it a customer need? And I don't know how to pronounce this man's name. I'm sorry, Cass Freihe, who wrote to the residents of Frankfurt after the village of Frankfurt turned down his McDonald's request of opening 24 hours, wrote to the residents of Frankfurt that he stated, currently the residents of Frankfurt, and I'm assuming the residents of Tinley Park, already order from his Tinley Park location in the late night hours. So they are currently servicing the needs of customers in Tinley and in Frankfurt in their overnight in their existing locations. This would not be a new concept. It's not new to the business. It would simply just be transferring customers from one location to another. It's not necessary. So customer needs is not a benefit for the village of Tinley Park and McDonald's. It's already happening. Again, I ask you, what is the benefit of having a McDonald's open 24 hours behind the residence? Is it really worth disregarding the special use standards that are in place to protect its residents from situations like these? Can you say that there's a benefit that outweighs the residents who already reside here, pay taxes here, and have good faith that the leadership they voted for has their best interests first? Can you say that a benefit exists that will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted, nor substantially diminish and impair property values within the neighborhood? I question why you, the village trustees, took away the recommendations of the planning committee to have a restriction of operating overnight from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the last meeting. We are only asking for 6 hours, a 6-hour reprieve in the overnight hours. I am asking these questions tonight because I only received a response to my email from one trustee, Mike Mueller, which was, "Thank you for your email, I read it over." I'm not sure, sorry. I am not sure why he chose not to respond to any of my emails. Maybe he didn't read it, maybe he didn't want to, or maybe he couldn't, I don't know. Mayor Glatz did take the time to respond to my email, but as he is busy working 2 jobs, and so am I, he didn't want to do email, he wanted to have a phone call, and unfortunately, our schedules didn't align, so that didn't happen. So I don't know what the mayor's response is to what the benefit is of having this overnight hours in Tinley Park with McDonald's behind our houses. If you vote tonight to let McDonald's operate 24 hours behind this residential community development, then you are voting against the residents and their concerns. You'd be voting for 24-hour operations without seeing a crime statistics report, without having a traffic study done, without having an acoustic study for noise and sound, and without having a study on the impact of property values. Customer needs are already being met, and as the mayor stated, the village's financial impact from sales tax is very low and not relevant. So I leave you with this: what is the benefit of having McDonald's operate 24 hours behind this residential community? What benefit would this bring to the village of Tinley Park? Is there something going on behind the scenes that we're unaware of? Is that why no one wants to respond? I know these residents are not the only ones watching and waiting and questioning that. If you do choose to vote without restrictions, then I hope you have the answers and questions above and are ready to share them with the residents. I urge you to reconsider the Planning Committee's recommendation to put a restriction on the operating hours of McDonald's overnight from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. and do what is right and just for the residents. We are only asking for 6 hours. Wow, woo, I got
You must have rehearsed.
it.
She's always prepared.
I normally look at everyone when I'm talking, but I knew if I did that, I'd be over time. So I apologize for not looking at you and addressing.
Perfect.
Oh, sure.
Before we continue, is there anyone else that's here outside of the Brookside Glen? Oh, no, we're on that, I thought we were in public comment, so we're all good. It's all yours.
I ditto everything she said. However, I do appreciate a response that I received from two of the trustees in regards to an email that I sent. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Laura Goebel. I live directly behind the proposed McDonald's location. I've lived in this community for 16 years, and we chose this neighborhood because it's quiet, it's residential, and it's a place where families can feel like we're at home. I'm here tonight to respectfully but strongly oppose the approval of 24 operations for this establishment. I want to briefly explain what this looks like from a resident's perspective. Our backyard is where we unwind at the end of the day. It's where we let our kids play, where we let our pets out at night, and where we expect some level of peace after normal business hours. The idea of cars idling all night, headlights shining into our windows despite the mayor's request to just pull our blinds down, drive-through speakers running at 1 or 2 in the morning, and delivery trucks coming through while our family is sleeping is incredibly concerning. This isn't a hypothetical inconvenience. It would be a nightly disruption every single day. Quiet hours would no longer exist for the homes closest to this location, and residents reasonably expect a level of quiet and darkness overnight in a residential area, and 24 operations remove that expectation entirely. This isn't about opposing business, it's about protecting residential quality of life. There are also serious safety concerns tied specifically to overnight operations. Late night and 24-hour businesses tend to attract loitering and disturbances, not because the business is bad, but because the hours they operate are. Extended overnight hours create long periods of low supervision, fewer open businesses nearby, which increases opportunity for vandalism and crime. Sadly, we just honored members that lost their lives 18 years ago, and that was not overnight. We've already seen overnight smash and grab incidents, vandalism reported in Tinley Park and surrounding communities during late night and early morning hours. Allowing 24 activity directly behind our homes increases the likelihood that this will happen here. We have surrounding police coming through communities that are so close to our home to help in these incidences. More police calls means additional strain on village resources and greater safety for concern of our families living closest to the site. Extended hours increases opportunity for problems, not because of the business, but because of the hours. A 24-hour operation brings traffic through our access points at all hours of the night. We already have one at Gas and Wash on 194th Street, flying down our street, all hours of the day. Late night drivers, delivery vehicles, rideshare traffic, it all increases safety risks. And intersections where visibility is low. 191st in Harlem, have you tried going north on that intersection? It's not fun. Overtime, constant noise, artificial lighting, they have a real impact on sleep, stress levels, overall well-being, and they don't fade, they just get worse, they accumulate. 24-hour operations set a precedent that will be difficult to reverse. Once this becomes acceptable next to homes, it opens the door for similar requests in other areas. It fundamentally changes the character of this neighborhood, how people feel about living here. A subdivision next to an all-night drive-through is very different than one that's next to a business with reasonable operating hours. It affects long-term stability and property values, and it's not something we can undo, and we already pay high taxes. I want to be clear, I'm not opposing business from opening. The residents are just asking for reasonable limits to be placed. Please respect the people who live here. Please deny approval for the 24-hour operations and stand with us, our families, who call this neighborhood our home. I do appreciate your time and your consideration and your service to our community, but I stand firm on this, and I really hope you do the right thing.
Anyone else?
Good evening, I'm Pam Maloney. Okay,
I was
so,
looking at you, but that's why I said that.
okay, so you guys have heard me speak about this before, and we've talked to the planning committee several times. So I do feel I'm gonna be McDonald's closest, oh, my picture's being taken, that's fun. Sorry. So I will be McDonald's closest
Want 'em on
neighbor.
the other side of you or that
Yeah,
side?
can I go there? That's awkward. So I'll be the closest neighbor, so I feel like, you know, we're the most impacted on that side. Obviously, you guys know I am most opposed to this 24 hours. Are we opposed to McDonald's coming? No. We just want those limited hours. Concerns I brought up in the past, the headlights. I know you've said things about, you know, the height and everything, but have we had a third-party study done on this, or is this just the village guessing? Traffic, when we, you know, we obviously get all the traffic from the concerts. We get, as soon as Lenny's Gash and Wash opened on 194th, we get all the traffic. Why do they come through there? I don't know. It's if they think there's something faster, they think there's an easier way through. There's not. Now this is gonna open up. Is there a back way? Is there another way we can get in here? That's just what people think. Crime, I know you guys have spoke about it. Sorry, these ladies, I'm repeating the same thing, but, you know, a lot of us were here when the Lane Bryant murders happened. We know how the impact of that, I mean, just things, police flying over, they came in, we didn't know if they were in the neighborhood. Did they flee? We're right at I-80. Anybody can commit a crime and run. I mean, how do we know? Are they coming in our neighborhood? Are they fleeing to I-80? This is a serious concern with the crime that's going on. I mean, you get somebody that's gonna just, oh, there's a peaceful neighborhood. That's an easy target right there. I'm gonna run in, I'm gonna steal from them, I'm gonna hurt them. We don't wanna deal with these kind of things. The noise, obviously, the drive-through, the people that are coming, they're hanging out outside. If the inside is closed, they're obviously gonna hang out outside, whether it be in the open seating area or they're by their cars. We don't wanna listen to them. We don't wanna deal with that. And, you know, I wanna make sure that you guys are truly taking us into consideration. I mean, we're the residents, we're here, we love our community. And I think that as a community, we have been trying to work with the Planning Commission. We thought we came up with a compromise. I mean, it's not the silent hours, you know, the quiet hours of, you know, 10 to 7, but we thought we were coming up with a compromise of, okay, 11 to 5. So compromise is meeting in the middle, and 24 hours is erasing a compromise. So why? Why are we considering that? What is the benefit? You know, we would like some answers if you are gonna vote that this is gonna be 24 hours. Why? Why is that? And what does it open the door for? Are there gonna be other businesses that are gonna be okay with, you guys are gonna be okay with 24 hours? Are we gonna have all 24 hours businesses in that development? It's a concern for us. So again, I really want you to consider the residents, importantly. And again, you know you've heard me a million times, but thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to make a comment on this?
I would. I live right at 7516 Ridgefield Lane, right? It's going to be just north of my house. I understand that Frankfurt has 2 McDonald's over there, and they only have limited time until 11 or 12 o'clock. We just had a most recent home invasion, 1 block south of us. Don't know if that has anything to do with this, but I just want to make that aware that crime does come to our neighborhood with this situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Jason, taking a stab?
I know where I stand.
Anyone else?
Can us?
No, let's, anyone from the petitioners want to make any comments or address any of these for the residents?
Dan Olson with Upstream Design Group, so we're the civil designers for the project. I just want to say to the residents, we appreciate all the comments and the thoughtful nature of everything and the chance to engage with you guys over the last couple of meetings, and I do hear where you're coming from. And our position is the same as when we last met. Our team is here. And it's similar to what we stated last time, which is we would like the ability to operate 24 hours. Each individual owner-operator would set the hours based on the demand of the business. And so allowing us the opportunity to do that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to operate in that way. It just allows him to make that discernment as the business demands. So we've worked with staff to do the things we've been asked to do to offset that from additional landscaping, the additional fencing that was requested. And we're doing the things that we can control within our site plan, and we're asking tonight that you would consider the 24-hour operation, and we're here for any other specific questions you have. So, thank you.
Anyone else for
Hi, my name is Darren Freihage. I'm going to be the owner-operator of the restaurant. I appreciate all the comments. And I understand, I mean, I happen to be one of those people 20 years ago that said, why do we need a McDonald's open 24 hours? I was very wrong. I thought it was just going to be people leaving the bar drunk coming through, and I was proven wrong. And unfortunately, all the things that have been mentioned by the neighbors are, in my opinion, based on false assumptions. Security has not been an issue for us at all. It's actually safer for us to not close the restaurant and open the restaurant in the middle of the night when people are leaving, because they're all locked in. Lights are going to be on all night anyways, whether we're open or closed. We share business from Tinley to Frankfurt when we tried to get 24-hour operation in Frankfurt because we had to try to get a variance. And we are not going to be just sharing customers or moving customers from one location to another right now, because this new location in Tinley will be gaining new customers. If we thought that we were just going to be sharing customers, we wouldn't open a whole extra location to just move money from one location to another, or sales. So we're actually gaining customer counts at this new location off the highway and in other areas that may have not gone to us. So I don't think that there's going to be, all of your assumptions, I don't think are going to be issues once it actually is in progress. And I base that on actual results, not assumptions. All of my restaurants, except for Frankfurt, are 24 hours. We've had none of the issues that you're talking about. It's quiet. The drive-through speakers are at a certain decibel level, which Dan could probably answer, that you probably won't even hear at your house. I can't guarantee it, but I don't think it's going to be a problem, because we have people behind my Manhattan restaurant that are actually closer to you or to the store than what you guys are. I'm more than happy to meet with you one-on-one and discuss things with you, but for tonight's purposes, I at least wanted to address some of the things that I thought were based on false assumptions as opposed to actual reality, based on what we're already doing. Not only in Tinley, Oak Forest, Frankfurt, Manhattan, Wilmington, New Lenox. So I'm here to answer any questions from anybody if you have it, and I can actually give you facts of is there a need for overnight business? Yes, there is. I never thought so, but there is. It helps us keep our prices down because we're getting business in the overnight hours that sometimes will be just lost to some other businesses that are open. For example, in the Tinley stores, we sometimes have sales between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning that are higher than our dinner hours from 5 to 7 p.m. I never expected that ever. So there is a need with, hospital workers, nurses, doctors, people leaving Amazon distribution centers, going home in the middle of the night. There is a need. There is a requirement. Tinley stores do outstanding overnight. And I don't expect this store to be any different, especially because it's going to be a highway location now. So I'm here if anybody has any questions. Thank you for hearing me.
I just had 2 questions, and then we can make some comments. Jason's got his hand up, but do all the McDonald's locations, do they have to have the same pricing?
No.
So would, that could potentially make a difference if you're not open 24 hours, is what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, that it keeps your pricing down? Are you saying
No,
keeps your
it helps
pricing
us
down
with
because-
cash flow. More
because
sales,
another store could have a lower price or higher price?
two different subjects.
It's not mandated?
Do we have to have the same prices? No, that'll be price fixing. So we make our own prices. Although, in my restaurants, I try to keep them the same because our customers tend to overlap and go, from town to town. I don't have separate prices just because I'm 24 hours or not 24 hours. What I'm saying is, with the increased revenue overnight that would be lost to other competitors, that's helping keep our expenses down or help you pay the expenses. Everybody's experiencing inflation, right? So with that added sales overnight, it's helping us mitigate those costs and therefore helping us keep our prices down because we don't like raising prices either. We just have to cover our costs. And we try to keep them as low as we possibly can, and doing business overnight helps us with that.
So, I should have wrote it down. What was the other question?
White Castle, other business, Taco Bell.
Our Taco Bell, is that what you're saying, right by us?
I don't know their exact hours, to be honest with you. There are. So when?
until 3 a.m.
Yeah.
The heck was there? A question I had.
Can I ask you a question real quick, Mayor?
Go ahead, Jason.
So during the concert hours, when the concerts are done, the policing force everybody away from our subdivision. They force them to go down Harlem, I think. Am I right? I think I am. But during concert hours, when they're letting people out, and now you got McDonald's to be open, are they gonna be able to go to McDonald's and come to our neighborhood still, or is there gonna be some kind of
That's another thing I don't understand. Why would they go through your neighborhood to get to our store if they're coming across? Yeah, that would be a question for them, not me.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I mean, we have policing stopping them from coming that way afterwards. So, they're gonna leave McDonald's open.
I don't go to the concert, so you're telling me that they're not allowed to go west on 191st Street?
That's right.
So it's either you exit out Ridgeland or you exit out Harlem, north or south?
Yes. And now they'll go through our subdivision to go around and get in the back way. Which is more traffic through our subdivision.
They can exit off Oak Park Avenue, and there's no traffic, so that's right now. They can exit off Oak Park, come across, and come on down to 94th Street,
So we could
That's a
address-
concern.
which they already do.
How many concerts are there? 30, 35?
We're projecting about between 30 and 35 for this year.
Sorry, can you say that so they can hear you?
We're projecting 30 to 35 concerts this year.
So what are your thoughts to address what Jason's saying on concert nights? What time's the concert end?
11, usually 30, they start, the concert ends, you hear the concert, you can tell when the concert ends, because we hear that. They're known, we moved in, they were there first, but you can tell when the music ends at 11, and then you see all the police presence kick in, and they start moving everybody out of the area.
So they can't go to Taco Bell or they can't go to the White Castles on 191st and the Grange?
To Brookside Marketplace. There are police that are at the front of each of those
You guys
areas.
know.
I didn't hear that. What about the Brookside Marketplace?
They're not going in there.
Okay. What are your thoughts on those concert nights closing at 11?
Me?
Yeah.
That's gonna be good money.
Well, our dining room is closed.
We want policing though, not to come to our neighborhoods during the concert nights.
That's what I'm saying. If he was closed that night after 11, I'm just,
I don't think me closing because of a concert is fair.
And we live there.
It's confusing to our customers. So,
guys, we're just talking. This-
we're all in business to
Oh,
make
One
money.
second there. Guys, we're
So,
trying to have an
that seems
open
like an issue for
conversation.
them in routing
We gotta
traffic correctly. I
keep
agree
order and
with you. There
decorum. If
should
we're
be
gonna
one
talk
through
this
the
out,
neighborhoods, but
we're not gonna figure
I can't
anything out
coordinate
just
my
making
hours with
comments
concerts.
in the back. If you have something to add to this, that's why I'm asking questions. I'm sure everyone's gonna, I have 2 pages of questions, but I just wanted to address that particular, there was another comment, a question I wanted to ask, but I can't think of it now.
I have another thing to say too. One of the comments was about loitering in the parking lots. It simply doesn't happen in any of my locations. How what? We don't do it. It just, it doesn't happen. We don't even have to address it. We don't have to chase people away. We have cameras all over the place. And so we can watch too if we're not there present, and it just simply doesn't happen. So a lot of your concerns in the situations that are actually occurring today in restaurants that are open are non-issues. You know, one of the comments in the last planning and zoning meeting was referencing clanking and noise making, and there really isn't going to be, and you're not gonna hear anything inside. The people are closed, the doors are closed, you can't hear anything going on inside the restaurant. We have 3 or 4 people working, that's really about it. But we don't have people hanging out in the parking lots eating their food as suggested. It just doesn't happen. They go and they leave.
Not until concert, right?
Yes, and that, again, I truly believe that's between them and you on that traffic routing.
I have a question for the village attorney real quick. If we wanted to, because I know comments were about the outdoor seating too, would we have well, first comment is, so everyone understands the plan commission is, they're a recommending body. Just because they put something up, that doesn't make, that's the final say. It's a recommending body. They do some vetting, and like I said in the email to Jennifer, I don't believe they had enough information to pass it that night, because if you don't know the elevations, I don't believe that you should have voted on it. That's just my opinion. I mean, it's not right or wrong, that's my opinion, because there's a 30-foot elevation difference on there. Do we have the right at the board, if we passed it, to add a restriction without it going back to the plan commission to remove the outdoor seating?
Yes, it's my understanding that you would be able to do that.
Okay, what is your thoughts on the outdoor seating?
It's not going to happen.
Why?
I don't like it. So I'm gonna choose not to do it in this restaurant. I don't have it in any of my restaurants.
Oh, so you don't want outdoor seating?
I don't want it.
I thought there is outdoor seating set for this one.
There's it's like and Joe can address this, but Corp usually puts like a big square, like what looks like a patio in case the operator wants to do it, then it's already kind of there as it's going through the plan commission. And they leave the decision up to us to decide whether we want it or not. And I'm someone who doesn't want it.
Because I remember it being brought up by some about the outdoor seating.
Yeah.
Does anyone, before we open up the board, have any direct question? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Frankfurt has 11 o'clock closing.
We don't close for
11 or
12
12?
and 1. 12 during the week, 1 o'clock on the weekend.
Okay, still not 24/7, correct?
Yes. And we tried to get in, we're gonna try again, and we posted that message on Facebook, as you referenced, and it was overwhelming support to allow us to do it. So I think we're gonna be going into it next time with a much better position, and I think it's eventually going to happen. Excuse me?
Those are commercialized locations, those aren't abutted next to residential homes.
I'm not making the comparison, he was.
The two-family locations are not, the two Frankfurt locations are not adjacent, so the property is close.
171st in Harlan is.
There are apartments
And it's-
that are behind it on one side, but then it's dual and dually.
But across 4 lanes of traffic is a whole subdivision of homes. It's 4 lanes. It's, how wide's a lane? 10 feet?
That's 4 lanes, that's across the street.
I know, but that's
4
still,
lanes.
but if it's 4 lanes, what's a lane? 10 feet? That's 40 feet plus the curbs and the right-of-ways. You're talking, it's only 50, 60 feet. And that's all subdivision houses, people that have lived there for 30-plus years. That's an older subdivision. So the comparison is, you have a whole slew of homes that are 60 feet away from that location. You have apartments that are literally right on the back doorstep. Obviously, the apartments are different than a homeowner, like they've stated, I agree. But still, right directly across the street, 4 lanes of traffic, if my guess is right on 10 feet wide lanes, it's 40 feet, add right-of-ways, you're talking 60 feet away. That's nowhere compared to these. Go ahead, Jen.
So I understand he's in it to make business, or in business to make money. I get that. But we chose Tinley Park as our homes. You're not living in your McDonald's location. You're not there the 24 hours that you're going, if you were to be approved.
happen in your other locations currently, I get that, but this is a whole different location. In a residential community, we've been there. We feel that compromising 6 hours a night for us to have some reprieve and some kind of peace of mind and not having the noise and everything else that comes along with this, as I stated before, is a heck of a compromise. We're not saying we don't want you in our neighborhood. We're not saying we don't want you to succeed. We are just asking for 6 hours in the evening time so we can get some peace and quiet in our neighborhood that's already established. You have a location down the block on Harlem that can take care of the customers that currently are taking care of the customers. So we don't feel that 6 hours is unreasonable.
But most of the businesses that exist in any town, the individual doesn't live there.
I understand, but he's saying that there's no problems in those locations, but he's not there.
We did, I'm gonna have trustee Sullivan address, she had the police reports, sent to her from the chief, 171st in Harlem, and they're literally, as far as some type of crime, there's like literally hardly anything. If anything, it's someone being pulled over in the parking lot from Harlem Avenue and stuff, but it's like hardly anything.
But they're not off the I-80 right there. We are.
To summarize, we're probably not going to agree. The reason I stood up and wanted to make some comments is that your concerns are based on false assumptions, in my opinion. Because I actually have case studies of actual restaurants operating right now that addresses all of your concerns. And so I'm just here to say that they're not a concern currently in the other restaurants. I don't expect this to be any different. That's all I have to say. Now, I know, we may not agree, that's okay. but
Instead of
that's
going,
why I'm
does
here.
anyone else want to make an actual, at the podium, make comment? Because what happens is, anyone that's watching at home, whether it's your neighbor or someone, they can't see you sitting in your seat.
Sure, I can come up to the podium.
That, would you mind?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No need to set time. It's a real quick question. I just had a question. If this were to get denied, when would it be eligible for reconsideration?
Question for the attorney.
Well, if it were to get denied, then they could reapply in as soon as the next day, and then there is a 15 to 30 day publication period, and then it will have to go through the Plan Commission again.
Okay, so we would be
And-
spinning wheels. We couldn't say, like, once they're open, let's see what that noise looks like from the hours of, 9 PM to 11 PM for the residents, and then, they could reapply for reconsideration if it were to get.
Well, arguably, the board could, the board has a couple options to either remand it back to the Plan Commission to have additional findings, or to impose, or to have additional findings and suggest additional conditions, or the board could impose conditions itself and deal with it that way. So if the board wanted to institute some sort of trial period or something like that, the board could certainly consider something like that. We would just have to have some deliverables, if you will, some benchmarks. So it's really, it's not a yes or no
not
answer to your
crystal clear.
question, like most things in law.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else, or I'm gonna start having the board make comments. Is everyone fine with that? Go ahead.
It may be minor, but it may bring more people into the neighborhood. Do you plan on advertising on billboards on I-80, your location?
Probably not, but I haven't made a mind.
Oh, so you're unsure?
I'm gonna be on the new highway side.
Okay, thanks.
I just have a question for the McDonald's owner. Are you aware that our subdivision that I live in as a senior and have never had a child in the public school, I chose to live there because it is a nice neighborhood? Are you aware that we pay the highest property taxes in Tinley Park? Are you aware of that? Well, you're saying that what's happened at previous McDonald's shouldn't be a problem. You can't guarantee us anything. Why did you not bring your statistics of how much more money you make at the nighttime than during the daytime? I mean, we don't know
I
you.
stated that to you, but honestly, in my opinion, my financial health is irrelevant to everybody else. You know, I don't understand how we're deciding whether or not I should be in business or not overnight based on my profitability. I don't understand how that's something that's even discussed at this.
Because of our safety and our comfort in our high-tax, lovely subdivision. Compared to,
Safety issues already, I don't have nothing else further to say.
right, but this is all based on your opinion. You're not showing us anything on screens or on papers.
I could give you that would satisfy you and agree with being open?
Well, I would think that you would have been prepared to do that, to show us.
We are prepared if the questions were asked specifically.
Okay, so you do have those numbers?
Yeah, I don't see why, I wouldn't be open if it wasn't going to make money.
If we're gonna lose money, we don't wanna be.
I don't want to do 24 hours if it loses money. And that's part of this plan and the deal with McDonald's. When they open new locations right now, you have to do 24 hours. It's in the McDonald's contract. Okay, but then it's reevaluated with the McDonald's franchise business partners to ensure it's profitable. If it's not profitable, we will close. It makes no sense that I would not be open if it didn't.
I just feel like we don't know you, and we have a nice subdivision here,
If it
and
helps,
I-
I've been the owner of Chimney Park McDonald's since 1994.
but, and that's fine. I'm not against anybody making money. I'm just saying, we pay high property taxes, and you can't guarantee us that this business will be different than your other businesses that you say are quiet. Okay, because I know that when people come through those concerts and they see, wow, these are nice homes, that's attractive to criminals. That
The
there's no police protection here, I could drive through the subdivision, ooh, these houses look beautiful. And they do, because we care about our neighborhood and we keep up with our homes.
Well, with all due respect, maybe you should be addressing the board and the police department about that, and not McDonald's.
Okay?
I want to address, and then we'll turn it over to the board. That's the third person that's brought up the property taxes. Well, it's the truth, Jason. It is what it is.
Not really the truth.
It is the truth. If you look at your tax
All
bills,
schools, I know that you're gonna tell
if you look, how much did your taxes go down from the village portion? Every house went down that I believe that I've looked up over $1,000 from the village portion.
I get you.
We cannot control your school districts. You should be involved in your school district meetings. How many residents have gone to their school board or ran for the school board?
My husband was the president for 8 years.
So the school board, the Lincoln Way is your problem, not the village, because of
You still pay a lot of taxes, Mayor.
you, as a whole, I completely agree. You pay a whole lot of taxes and it's ridiculous what you pay. But as far, only thing that we can control is the village's portion. And we've kept them down, and this last levy, each house that I believe has gone down over $1,000 from the village. We can't control the 7, the 8, the 5% increases that your school board keeps putting on you. We're not responsible for that. It's a separate taxing body, and it's unfair to put us in that pool when the school district is raising them, not us. You didn't go from us, you went down over $1,000. So how is that our fault? But it's kind of contradictory. If you want to keep your taxes lower, well, then I think you would want the sales tax, because that goes to your pot of money. It doesn't go to the Cooks County side. Any money that's generated from 183rd Street South, that goes into the pool of money for the Will County residents. So which is it?
Mayor, are we seeing any kind of estimate about what sales taxes we would be getting in every?
I have no idea. I don't get involved in it. But at the end of the day, the sales tax comment is not relevant to this conversation, because the village's portion has gone down over $1,000. What do you, tell me, what could we do with the school board? What could we do with the school district? I can't control what your previous administrations, Wiley and all them, what happened during their term. We weren't on the board, and even if we were, it wouldn't have mattered. We can't control what they do. We can only control the amount of revenue that we need to run the village, and your taxes have been lowered by the village over $1,000. That's pretty darn good. If anything, you guys should be going to the school board meetings. That's where you're getting hammered from, not from us. Yes, ma'am.
Please don't make me go to the podium.
Is it gonna be short?
It should be short. I really appreciate your comments, Mayor, and I appreciate that you can't or don't have a lot of control over our taxes.
We have none.
100% appreciate that. What we're here to talk about is something that we have control over, and that is this decision tonight. And that is what, and when we make comments about taxes, it's because we all feel that every year, we don't expect you to change that for us, but we do implore you to listen to our concerns about something like this. It is important to us. We've talked about safety a couple times. That's a bit, like, for our family, we're right next to that development. The fear that comes over us when home invasion happens right next to us, you can't tell us that the likelihood goes down after a 24/7 McDonald's is approved. We also can't predict that it will happen, but I guess no one predicted what happened 18 years ago either, or they would have put cameras in place.
But it's not
These are the
really,
things that
sorry, go
we're
ahead.
worried about.
I understand, it's just, before we go on, I wanted to address that's three people that have brought up the taxes. The taxes, we have done a great job maintaining them, keeping the levy frozen year after year, and this year, they actually went down. So I just wanted to get that tax thing off the table.
appreciate that.
And I get it, and,
I think we're here for the 24-hour thing, correct?
Jen?
I don't have anything to say about the taxes. What I actually do have to say is that I have an email that
I presented to the board back in January 2nd of 2025 from McDonald's Corporation, asking them if the franchisees have to be open 24 hours.
Can you do me
And
a
their
favor?
response to me,
Can you just do me a favor first before you continue? Because I don't want to have the attorney that you guys hired to represent New Way that sued us a gazillion times, because you're speaking for a second time past your no, that's fine, hold on. Can you just ask the board for a motion for a minute extension, just to cover us?
board, may I please have a minute
Is
extension? Thank you.
there a
I'll
motion?
make that motion. I'll second.
Thank you.
Everyone in favor?
Everything.
Aye.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Jen.
I
Sorry,
don't-
we just,
No, that's
I've
okay.
been sued.
I don't know anything
15,
about
16
New
times
Way
by-
or what you're talking
Mr.
about, but
Stephen
I'm
Wayne.
talking about
Hey.
McDonald's,
I
so.
know. Go ahead.
Basically, I just want to let you know that McDonald's Corporation got back to me, and it says, more than 95% of McDonald's U.S. restaurants are owned and operated by independent business people. As independent owners, McDonald's franchisees have the authority to make certain operating decisions as they relate to their McDonald's restaurant operations. Nothing in their email stated that they're required to be open for 24 hours.
We have our signed contract that they offered us for these two locations, and in that contract, it states that we will be open 24 hours a day.
Who?
At least for the
McDonald's or McDonald's says you
They're
have to
asking
be?
that of the franchisees, but what they're saying to you is factual. It's legitimate, but it's a broad-based thing. They're not addressing new store openings in that statement to you. They're saying to you, in general, 95% are franchised, and that we have the right to make our own decisions about whether or not we're open 24 hours. However, if they grant a new lease to a new location, it's in this case, they're asking us, or requiring us to be open 24 hours for a given period of time to see if it makes sense.
Okay,
So if
that's,
the board grants 24-hour operation here, I'm gonna be forced to do it in the beginning, whether you wanted to or not.
if the, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? If the board?
Jen, we've gone past.
We're
He's
allowed,
talking, I'm not.
That's right. You can answer, just, I don't want to go back and forth and.
we're allowed to operate 24 hours. Once we open it, you're gonna have to run 24 hours in the beginning for the 6 months. 3 or 6 months, something like that, and then we can evaluate whether or not we can continue running 24 hours or dial it back to what we think.
If they approve the 24 hours.
Yes.
So So you have to be open for 3 to 6 months if they approve it.
I can't, don't quote me because he remembers it more than I do. I thought it was a year, but he's saying 3 or 6 months. So somewhere between 3 months and a year.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Did you say you lock the doors when it's open 24 hours, but the drive-thru's open?
Yeah, we close the lobby around, what, 9 or 10? 9. 9?
And why do you lock the doors?
We don't want people coming in and we want to secure.
They're closed.
So it's for safety.
No, the cash registers, there's no one operating the cash register. And if people are working in the back doing the drive-through, you don't want people going into the bathroom.
Correct.
It is for safety.
But it's just common sense.
It's for safety, common sense, for safety.
So you did come up.
All right, first of all, Mayor Glatz, I do want to thank you for, around the holidays, of having Tinley Police up at the Brookside Marketplace instead of having that
We authorized,
that guy driving around doing nothing.
we authorized $800,000 of overtime, or
I do have to say,
$800 of overtime.
it did help out with crime at Brookside Marketplace this year. Thank you. But I would like to say it to all the trustees and all you guys, to consider this 24-hour McDonald's is not good for us. We have a lot of traffic that comes through there, like we said. What's the guarantee we're gonna have policing, like you said, more policing after the concerts? We need that, especially during the concert nights. You know, coming through there on 194th, because the traffic just goes right through our subdivision, right there. If we can get more policing, you know, that's up to you guys. If you guys pass this, you do. If you don't. But the thing is, can we get some more policing on concert nights? You know, try to do that. At least help us out with that.
What I
So,
can promise you, Jason, is, you know, every time you've had an issue, we've done everything we can to help you. We will, if this does pass, we will create a committee, say 5 a year or so, whatever, and we will make sure, come concert season, there will be a set plan with the police. What will happen, what they will be doing, and what areas that they will be covering to make sure these people aren't going through your neighborhoods. We guarantee you that. Right, Chief?
Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna put people, so we will have a set group of people, the concerts that will be on overtime, that will be in charge of maintaining and watching your neighborhoods during the concerts.
I'd appreciate that.
Yep.
And also, we work together on Brookside Glen Street itself. Can you have somebody come out and spray the pedestrian walkways again in the spring?
Can you, I don't know.
Because we don't get none of that no more.
Can you tell Pat, do you have Pat's number? Can you
Yeah, we'll talk to Pat.
Okay, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, we'll take care of it. All right, trust, last one, and then we're gonna go to board comment. Go ahead, ma'am.
I just want to say that the reason I brought up the taxes is I built the home in Brookside Glen 20 years ago with no children in school. So the schools weren't an issue for me. I built there because it was a nice, quiet subdivision of beautiful, nice homes, and that was my whole point. I'm not here to get you to lower my taxes. I bought there because it was a safe neighborhood. The home invasion happened 2 houses away from me to a woman that's maybe 3 or 4 years older than myself. So it is a concern, and I just wanted to make that point, that that's why I live there, and that's why I pay those high taxes. I could move and pay lower taxes. I pay those high taxes because it's a nice neighborhood, and I want it to remain safe, and that's the reason we need you to consider what might happen to us if it's 24/7. There are no guarantees that just because it didn't bring crime in a different McDonald's that's 24 hours, that it's not gonna happen by us. That was my point.
Yeah, but to the point, the McDonald's or that whole the 77 acres is developed, and there was a home invasion. It's not related to that development because the development doesn't even exist. And the home invasions, unfortunately, can happen anywhere. That's the issue where you need to take up with all your state legislators that are passing all these crappy ass safety acts and laws that prohibit our police from doing their darn job, right? There's a lot of things that they can't do anymore because they're prohibited by your legislators that pass these laws that stop the policemen that are on the street from doing what they used to be able to do, right? They put restrictions on all that made things unsafer. I mean, you can't chase, there's a lot of things you can't do anymore because of your local legislators. You should, email Hastings and Bob Rita. Those are 2 of the guys that pass all this garbage. But again, the development didn't even exist, and you already had a home invasion. So
But I'm saying-
putting a McDonald's doesn't mean it's gonna bring a home invasion, right?
The
I'm
24-hour
saying it
7
can
does.
possibly
So it'll bring a
increase
home
crime. Just going by being a mother and grandmother, and I'm sure you've heard this, nothing good happens after midnight. That's all I have.
We have,
10 p.m.
unless you're in Vegas. Unless you're in Vegas.
Unless you're in Vegas.
We're at the McDonald's at 172nd and Harlem Avenue. That's 60 feet from a huge subdivision, and the homes are all packed in. We're not having home invasions because of the McDonald's, but Trustee Shaw, do you want to? Just real quick before you, can you put that back on? So, can you guys see this, the screen? So no, the other one. So, real quick, while you can look at it while he's talking, you guys see all the lines going from those homes right there? That's the sight line going around the, by the Pete's Fresh Market to the McDonald's lot. And what, so, go ahead, Ken.
No, I was going to defer to other board members first.
Sure. Trustee Brady?
I just have a few comments that are not as eloquent as the ladies that were all up here, but it was just different thoughts that I heard. How about if they had their own security, then we have to worry about the police department being there? You know, that's just an idea. Have your own security force there, just a thought. After 11 o'clock is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Doing what?
Security, have security there. They're worried about people coming into the place, having.
We're closed after.
You're closed, but if you were open,
You want them sitting in the lot? The
Yeah.
parking lot?
No, in the lobby.
The lobby's
But
closed right now.
we're closed, we're locked in.
Okay, so nothing there with that. All right. And then the comment about, and I would love to hear the statistics, and I think, Trustee Colleen, you have the statistics on the two McDonald's on Harlem Avenue, plus a White Castle, and I'm not sure about Taco Bell, how late they're open, and I'd like to find out what those statistics are bothering those. I'll turn it over to you in just a minute. And a question for our attorney is that, could it be that, and it was kind of just mentioned here a little bit, you run it for 24 hours for a year, 6 months, and when you come back for a business license, we go over the statistics that has happened there, what has happened, fights, drunken people, so on and so forth, and see how many police calls there were. And if there was 5, in 365 days, that's not bad, okay? But it gives an opportunity to see if everything that they're talking about comes to fruition. Because to see if it's just to try and say, well, it might happen, it might happen, it might happen. Maybe it didn't, maybe it won't, okay? So maybe that's a possibility. I don't know if we can readdress that after a year to turn around and either change it back to 5 to 11, or whichever way we go, try it the other way. And last but not least, unfortunately, 18 years ago, that happened at 10 o'clock in the morning, okay? So, crime can happen anywhere, anytime, okay? It doesn't have to have a McDonald's to do that. So, that's all, Mr. Mayor.
Before we go to Trustee Mueller, great point. Trustee Brady, I have that marked down as one of my comments on the operating of it.
Over 20.
On operating 24, so I have comment I'll make on that. Go ahead, Mike.
No,
Wait, you want me to make that comment first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Before you guys go?
Yeah.
And I'll save all my stuff. Huh?
I wasn't sure which comment you were referring to that.
So in regards to the 24/7, what I was asking the attorney, we have the authority with the approval to, like they said, 3 to 6 months, I think you said, Darren, that you have to?
I'm not verifying again, but I'm pretty sure it was 3 months.
So let's
It's
just,
supposed to be a year, but we can talk to them after 3 months.
so if we want, everyone could put the money where their mouth is, and proof's always in the pudding. We could put a 6-month, temporary operating permit, and if everything goes at this store as the other stores go, because we have the crime statistics, there's literally hardly anything that relates to you guys doing your business at the 171st in Harlem. Any of the issues are minor. Some are repeat people. Individual that lives on Oak Park Avenue, that's you're usually dealing with, that's in there that they have to ask her to leave. Taking their drinks off their tables, and that's just a certain individual. So we can put a temporary operating permit on there for 6 months of the 24/7. And if everything that they're doing at the other locations continues with this, then they could stay 24/7. But if they are having problems and issues that they're saying, if we did 6 months, that would put us, well, you guys didn't even start building yet. So we could base it around the concert season and make sure there's no issues. We also beef up the police and make sure the neighborhoods, as a lot of you discussed, that are 100% covered. And if issues arise from it, then we could change it, but we have to put it in the initial, if this passes, we have to put it in there as a temporary operating permit and for how months, so like.
It would be based on occupancy, right?
Yeah, exactly, so like 6 months. And so we could adjust it, let's say they don't open till November, right? We could adjust it to start at a certain time so that you have a full, so you have an actual, the whole goal of this is to be open during a concert season in the summer to make sure there's no issues going on with the neighborhood and everything else. Go ahead, you want to comment?
I was just going to reiterate that, Mayor. You guys could make the temporary operating permit, if you will, to allow for the 24/7 operations. You could make that where it goes live during the concert season. So I don't know what the concert season is, but maybe from like April to October or something like that.
Donna, when's the concert season start?
Usually the end of May or early June.
So you could do like a May through
Ma-
November
Yeah, when does it usually end?
or October.
Late September.
Okay.
So you could do it May through October, and you're covered.
And then that way, that can give the village a snapshot of what exactly is occurring there. That gives the residents an opportunity to still have a voice, that takes into consideration the concerns of the residents. And again, it gives the village an opportunity to sort of see what exactly is happening. And if it turns out that there is a substantial increase in crime or a substantial increase in, legitimate complaints, then the village board could say, no, we're going to go back to what the plan commission has recommended, which is the closure between 11 to 5.
And then,
Make those comments and complaints to the police department or the village?
Well, we would need to work that out. I mean,
If
we're just kind of talking
if there
about.
are police issues, you would call the police department, not the village. If there's something going on there, you would call the police department. And then at the end of that time, if there's issues, then we could address it and see what threshold it reaches.
Hi, Cass Frahege. My response to that would be, I'm pretty sure Taco Bell did not have to do that, and they're open till 3 a.m. every day. But they're right across, so we're talking about bringing in crime. Taco Bell's open till 3 a.m. across the street. They haven't brought in any crime. I don't understand why a McDonald's is supposed to bring in more crime.
I don't believe it will. I believe it'll be the same as the other ones, but at least,
Because how do I know that the crime did not come from Taco Bell? You know what I mean? So, I mean, we're getting punished for something maybe that isn't even there.
you're not getting
you know?
punished. You already have it, guys, could we please, we have a history with you guys operating.
Yeah.
Since I've been on the board, there's been no
Nothing.
issues with your location.
Yeah.
And
I'm
assuming-
confident there won't be.
And I'm assuming it's probably because of either you have good managers or good, leadership of some sort up your ladder that you guys make sure that everyone stays in line. And so you shouldn't have anything to worry about if it's exactly like your other stores. But to their defense, if that thing becomes, nothing but crime, well, then I'm sure you wouldn't want to be open that night either. So
Yes.
it gives the board an out, which I don't foresee happening if you repeat what you do at your other locations. And it gives the residents something to hang their hat on, that if this is happening, well, they know that they're covered. So,
I understand.
you're not being treated differently, because if you were being treated differently, we wouldn't even be having the conversation in the first place.
Okay.
Because they're closing, you said, at 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
And whoever was on the commission when the Taco Bell opened and got the 3, the different board, we can't go back in time.
Understood.
On what someone else proved or not, but you still can get 24 hours, 24/7, and as long as the proof stays in the pudding, then you have nothing to worry about.
Cool.
And then it gives the board, something, you know, if something does happen, to address it later.
Yeah.
But
I understand.
after that window, can't go into, okay, February, we had crime there, so now, yeah, we gotta yank it. We will create, the biggest concerns are the summers, the concert seasons. That gives us time to start putting a plan together to address all that for the residents first. Covers the board and staff, and then you guys last. And so we should have a lot of that stuff all put in place where it shouldn't be an issue anyways.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
But it's not all about crime. It's the lights, it's the traffic, the noise, and it's the smell. Nobody mentioned the smell that we're gonna be smelling 24/7 of hamburgers and french fries all night long. We are that close to that McDonald's.
Thank you. Trustee Mueller.
No, a lot of good points have been made already, so I'm not gonna go through a lot of them. I did read all the emails, and I apologize if you took my response as something that it wasn't. I know emailing folks like us on the board, it sometimes goes unheard. I was just acknowledging that I received your email. I did read through them all. I have them all right here. There was one actually that came in during this meeting that actually was our first for the rest of the board, asking that McDonald's stay open 24 hours, so that was a first for us up here. But listen, not gonna be.
Did they live on Ridgefield?
No, they did not. They didn't mention their address. Not gonna be popular up here today. I believe that this corner is built for commercial. I think that what we're doing here with the upcoming grocery store, with some of the other businesses that are gonna be there, are perfect for this location. This has been a troublesome spot for us for a long time. I'm excited to see it fully going. I do not believe that the lighting situation is going to make anything worse for the residents that are there. I don't believe that the noise is going to be a problem. I don't believe that crime is going to be a problem with these locations, regardless of their operating hours. I think that this is a good step forward for our community. I'm all for this project.
Thank you, Trustee Mueller. Trustee Sullivan, you ready?
I do, yes, I'm ready. I wanted to first thank everyone who emailed me, and again, I believe we were at 14 emails the other day, and I wanted to respond to everybody all at once. So, you know we all work, but I wanted to let you know I've read every single email, and I'm glad we're having this second meeting because it changed my point of view in your favor, by the way. So I know we're all kind of mixed emotions about this, but I did reach out to Chief Tilton, Mike Glotz and I, Mayor Glotz and I, reached out to him because I did have some concerns about the crime in the area. It is known that 80 people hop on, they hop off, they do a crime, they hop back on. So I don't like calling us sitting ducks, but we are. We choose to live where we do because of the convenience of hopping on the highway. But along with that, we do get crime that happens as well. I don't have to do a FOIA to know the crimes that have happened of people jumping off of 80, committing a crime, and getting back on the highway and leaving our community. These aren't people that when they're caught, they don't live here. The crime report that I pulled that Mayor Glotz was referring to, that Chief Tilton sent me, there is a list of things. Now, however, some of the things are a traffic stop because it was in front of McDonald's. So the list looks long, but there are some things on here, but there are some concerning things, a suspicious vehicle disturbance, and these were 2024, then there were a couple of things, 'cause I wanted to see of what happens to overnight hours. So I did find two things without going through multiple years, but just to grab two examples. There was one at 1:35 a.m., male subjects fighting in the drive-thru, and I don't think I shared this one with you, and I apologize for not getting this over to you. And the other one was intoxicated subject in the drive-thru at 1:43 a.m. So it happens, but a lot of these things that did happen also happen during the day. So it's just gonna happen no matter what time of day it is. People are gonna act up, act a fool, it's just, that's what they're gonna do. But the concerns for the residents outweigh the need for a 24-hour McDonald's, in my opinion. I think we're here to, in my view, compromise, it needs to be made. You're gonna have a successful business no matter what. Every time I've gone to McDonald's, you wait a long time, it's just, they're very successful. I do appreciate developers coming to the village. I think it's important to keeping us thriving, but I do think that we need to consider the residents' concerns, and they're valid concerns. There's some things that I read that I was like, well, I don't really think that's gonna happen, or I didn't agree with every single bullet point that was sent my way. But for the most part, I do agree with your concerns of the safety. And it is a distance away, but it's still your backyard. So I agree with the residents of their concerns for the safety, for the noise of the area. And then, I know I have my notes here too, let me look right quick. Oh, and then, discussing having it open for 24 hours and reevaluate, I don't know if we need, I don't agree with doing that. I just kind of think like, how about we open it without 24 hours and see how it goes? And then if we have to reevaluate if they're struggling, which I doubt, because I think that location is gonna be extremely successful, being right outside of the Brookside Marketplace. So, so I don't know at what point I would like, at some point when we're ready to, that I would like to make a motion to reinstate the restrictions of business hours for McDonald's as recommended by the Plan Commission.
Is that it?
That's it for me.
Trustee Mahoney, or Trustee Shaw, why don't you go?
Okay. So I appreciate some of the other guys going first and make sure that anything you said I'm not gonna cover here. Just up front, I wanna state that I'm fully in agreement with Trustee Mueller in terms of this being an appropriate use for that corner. It's been problematic for quite a long time, and to get this development going took a lot of effort on the part of the developer, engineering firms, just to make that piece of property viable in the first place. And I think that everything that's being proposed for the development is going to be good and positive in the long run. I just want to emphasize a few things here that aren't necessarily being considered here, and that's just more procedurally, is that applicants, they have rights. They have very clear rights under Illinois land use laws, and the Illinois land use has very clear restrictions on what plan commissions and boards are allowed to consider when we make decisions. And we can't simply go by public opinion or political opinion, political impact, that sort of thing. We have to make sure that we are basing decisions on actual evidence. We're not allowed to make decisions based on speculative, hypothetical situations that could come into play. The burden is not on the applicants to disprove a hypothetical situation. It could bring in crime. It could be noisy. It could be this. The applicants have put forth a valid application that went through the approval process, and it has arrived here. For us to put additional burdens on them puts the community at risk of being overturned for any decision we make if we're considering things that are not appropriate. Our role is to evaluate the application on what evidence is in front of us today, that being the findings of fact that were presented to the Plan Commission in those public hearings. One thing that hasn't been brought up here is that no matter what happens, what the decision is, the village retains authority over the property. We're not, whatever we decide one way or another, we're not abdicating our responsibility or our authority to deal with a problem if it comes up. And so in my mind, having some sort of probation period is not appropriate. As I think Cass, I think you said, as he brought up, that's not a restriction that's been put on other businesses, and in my opinion, it's not appropriate. If we approved the 24-hour use, which I'm in favor of, simply because the applicant has made a valid application, they've presented their case there, and there's not valid evidence before us today that is counter to that. So in my mind, having some sort of probation period is really not appropriate. And hypothetical concerns, they don't really override a valid application. Real issues, if they come up, will be addressed. We don't have to wait 6 months to see if they have gone through a probation period and haven't had a problem. That's not right. If they have a problem a month, 3 months, 6 months into being open, it will be addressed. And if we have to reconsider the hours at a later time, we will. That's our authority. We're not giving up that authority. As far as the site design itself, I've looked at this. I used to chair the Plan Commission. I was on the Plan Commission for years. This is, in some cases, a 900-foot buffer. That's just distance. That's not even considering that there's water there, there's berms, fencing, landscaping. That is a very substantial buffer. That's a lot more than you see in many developments. So for all those reasons, I'm in favor of this. The applicants have, as I said, they have clear rights, and we as a board have to make sure that we're not stomping all over the applicant's rights simply because of public opinion. We've looked at all of these things here, and the board will make some decisions here. But it's part of the entitlement process, and we have to be careful that we are not making arbitrary decisions here. Let's see, I think I covered all of it there, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Trustee Mahoney?
I really don't have too much else to say without repeating what board members have said, residents have mentioned. I do appreciate, obviously, everybody with their input for this business coming into the area. There was a comment with the, several comments with the traffic, the concert season coming up, as it does every year, and I think it sounds like there's gonna be a plan to better that situation, and if there needs to be change or something added to that, as far as traffic or adding police presence, in certain areas for certain times for certain events that we have in the village, we will 100% vet through that and plan and go accordingly with that. So I don't have anything else, any other comments to make other than that, so thank you.
Thanks, Trustee Mahoney. I'm gonna go backwards from some of the public comment. But first I had, before I go on, I had a question for Darren or Cass. Do you have any idea how tall those light poles are? Or Mike Coleman?
20 feet,
20 feet?
yes.
Thank you.
Our maximum allowable is 24 by ordinance.
Thank you. 20 feet, okay. As far as the question on the home invasion, I think I addressed that. There's nothing on the site, and you already had there was a home invasion. It's not relevant to any of the businesses in Tinley Park. The 24, there was a comment about are all the businesses gonna be 24 hours? Well, there's gonna be Pete's, which is gonna be the anchor of the lot. I looked up their stores. All their stores close at 9 p.m. and that will be covering most of that entire property. 7 Brews, not 24 hours. Panda Express, who's going in there, is not 24 hours. Then there was the comment about the crime. So Colleen and I, or Trustee Sullivan and I got the crime, as we saw for the last, what did we get, a couple of years?
Yeah, well, the one was 2024, and then some of the other incident reports I have were from 2025.
So, okay.
So a little sampling of, like, a little bit.
So there's not a lot. We had to go back to 24 for something in the drive-through. The lights, Rizadeh said about the light poles, like we discussed from staff pulling from the, was that from the GIS or from the permits? There's a 30-foot difference elevation from the first two houses that are closest to the McDonald's to the parking lot. There's a 30-foot differential in height. So if the light poles are 20 feet from there, the bottom, the floor of your foundation is still 10 feet above that. Is Trustee Shaw mentioned, you have berms. I put this picture on the screen. You can see all the landscaping that's there. I believe a headlight on a vehicle is probably roughly 3 feet, so they won't even go above the bushes. So even if you can get above the bushes, you can't get past a berm. There's gonna be, Mike, is it a 6 or 8 foot fence over there by the berm?
The berm over there, what our PUD that we have for lots 6 and 7, will allow up to a maximum 8-foot berm per section 4.3 in the development agreement.
Thank you. So the parts over there, you won't even, headlights won't even go above the berm to get anywhere near a house. The elevations are facts, they don't change. The taxes, I addressed that. The 24 hours, how it's bringing traffic and all the speeding. Have you guys been filing complaints and calling the Tinley Park Police Department on all the speeding?
All the time, every time.
Well, if there's, yeah, I mean, because that, I mean, that's the only factual stuff that we can go by. You can't just say they're speeding. If you're calling, if they're speeding a lot, then they have to put enforcement there, which,
I tried that years ago, we never got nothing.
well, that was Matt Walsh. Wouldn't do anything. We tried, we met out there and tried. I'm not gonna tell the police chief what to do. That was his decision, not mine. The vandalism, again, any vandalism, it's not related to a McDonald's or any other store being in there. The quiet neighborhood, I mean, unfortunately, it's a 77-acre site that you bought around a school, which would have made a lot more noise, other than it wouldn't have been 24/7. I mean, every neighborhood in Tinley Park, I believe, is nice, so you bought, if everything to the east of you is all open land, which is gonna be developed, everything at the corner, the north, east corner, the southeast corner of 191st and Harlem's gonna be all developed. The outdoor seating, I'm gonna ask if we could put that in there to make sure that there's no outdoor seating when there's a vote taken, regardless of how it goes. Taxes mentioned that. As far as noise, if anything, this development as a whole is going to, in my opinion, eliminate and make things a lot less quiet when you have a Pete's do you know how tall the Pete's, sorry, I should ask you that ahead. Do you know how tall the Pete's is on Harlem?
The exterior wall?
Yeah, how tall is it to the roof?
24 to 26 feet to the top of the parapet.
Thank you. So you're gonna have 24 to 26-foot building across the back end of the property. Then you're gonna have the outlets that are big along 191st Street is making traffic, which is gonna, all those buildings are gonna block a lot of that noise. You live off I-80, a lot of that stuff should be bouncing off all these buildings and heading back the other way, in my opinion. And then Jen, you posted on a Facebook site, and from the comments that I was reading, it seemed like a majority of the people were supporting the 24/7. A lot of people were making comments that, I work second shift or I get home late, I have nowhere to go, and someone mentioned that they can go to 171st in Harlem, and the guy's like, I don't want to go to 171st in Harlem, this is where I live. I want to go there. So there was a lot of comments in favor of it. The littering, again, I eat at McDonald's a lot, and I don't see a lot of, stop it, Bill. I don't see a lot of littering at any of their locations, or even just McDonald's in the whole. I think the McDonald's Corporation is pretty strict. Headlights, address that, and noise, I addressed that. And the police reports, which covered that there's not a crime issue at the McDonald's. And the people that live across the street from 172nd Harlem are roughly 60 feet away of a whole entire subdivision. What I think the board should consider for, to protect the residents for their complaints, we should put a, whatever that time frame is, May through October, I think we said. Put a 6-month temporary operating permit on there, and proof's always in the pudding, and if they're not having issues, it's not a concern, and they will carry on business as usual. If there's issues, then we could address it, and as far as the concerts, like everyone discussed, we'll figure it out. We'll put a committee of the residents together, and we'll discuss and go over traffic patterns, make sure, we're relying on a couple of you guys to speak to your other residents, to make sure that they agree with what we'll do. We'll cover it for the concerts. We'll have police in there. And if they're speeding, there's one patrol in that zone. We don't know someone's speeding if someone doesn't report it, right? And you have to report if they're speeding in there so that we could, if we get enough calls in one area, then you force the police chief to put more patrol or do something different in that area. Just coming to a meeting and saying they're speeding, it doesn't help us. It doesn't help our police stop the speeding through that intersection or through your neighborhood. So I hope that you guys will stay diligent on calling the dispatch and let us know if there's a problem so that they can come up with other things that they want to do. Maybe we put a second cop out there and he roams in a certain area. I know going there, sometimes I get lost going to Mueller's house. It's not easy to drive around, so I would not be cutting through any of those streets. Brookside Glen is probably the most difficult subdivision to drive through unless you live there. So that's my thoughts on it, and like I said, I would ask the board just to give them, to give the residents protection. I would ask the board, put a 6-month trial on the concert season, and we'll work with them, and we'll work with you guys to have a whole traffic pattern. I don't foresee it being a problem.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
On that proposal for 6 month, can we do that as a separate addendum motion? Because I oppose that, and I don't want to vote against the main motion.
Yeah, we gotta figure out what we're voting on.
So you want to vote on the approval of the
Well,
overall,
No, the mayor's asking that we include the stipulation or requirement that there's some sort of 6-month trial period or something like that. I'm not in favor of that, so I don't want to vote against the underlying motion.
so I think that it could happen in multiple ways. So one, the board could either just approve it as presented, or as presented and discussed at the last board meeting, which took away, my understanding that took away that 11 a.m. to 5, or I'm sorry, 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. restriction. So the board could vote on it as presented. The other alternative is, and somebody can make a motion to that effect, somebody could second it, that could get voted on. The board could also vote on it as amended with the conditions that the mayor stated. So somebody can make that motion, second that, vote on it with the conditions that the mayor stated. Otherwise, somebody could make a motion to deny it. If you wanted to consider the overall development itself and do a separate motion on the hours of operation.
Yeah, I don't want to complicate things.
That's
just
what
that might
what
be
I
the
want.
easiest.
I want to reinstate the restrictions of the business hours the way that it was at the last meeting. Because I'm for the business, I'm against the 24 hours.
Okay, so the complication is, of course, that it was presented.
She would have
I
to make
know.
a superseding motion
Yeah.
to try and change it.
There's a motion on the table right
And then
now.
there is.
Right.
You're
Yes.
I know.
Oh, correct, yes, yeah, there's a motion to approve it, as presented with without the 11 to 5, correct? So,
So it's up to you guys, so it's up to the board to either amend it and change it to my request or trustee Sullivan's request, or vote.
yes.
It's up to the board. I can't make a motion, so it's up to you guys.
Can I ask a question of Tiffany before we go? So they also have a business license. They have to get a new business license every year. What types of powers and how close to what the mayor's asking for is just part of the regular business?
Well, you must be looking at my computer right now because I've been researching that while we've been sitting here.
Well, I know we've done this for other businesses. Like, we get complaints about a lot of businesses. One of the avenues that we've gone to correct that is to say, if you don't do anything, next time you come up for a business license, you know, we might not give you that business license.
Well, typically, honestly, hours of operation are usually not coming through like a plan commission or a zoning board. That's usually something that's decided in a business license. Now, of course, there could be something in the zoning code that requires that to be considered. I would have to honestly delve into that a little bit deeper. But I think if the board wanted to give consideration to approve it as presented today without the 11 to 5, and if there was an issue, yes, then you could go after them on a business license basis. So I guess what the board could potentially do is possibly a different condition that the 24-hour operation will be reviewed at the annual business license renewal and determine it that way. And that would give them possibly a full year of operation and just do it as as part of the business license renewal. And if the board ultimately determines that the 24 hours, maybe the board determines that, we don't want any more 24-hour restaurants in the village at all, period. And the board, decides it's going to eliminate all 24-hour restaurants. That is something that is within the rights of the board to do, in my opinion. So there are options down the road. Those options require, obviously legislation, do require some, sort of research and metrics, stuff to rely on to make those decisions.
Well, I'm curious too, for the corporate end of things, if they get their 24 hours, say they get that today, and then a year from now we revisit it, are they gonna have issues if all of a sudden now the village says, well, you were 24 hours, but now you're not?
I have not reviewed their contract, and I could not advise on that.
Okay. And then, sorry to make you say this again, Mike, but can you reiterate what you want us to consider?
To give their concerns a guarantee in the middle of the summer when they have all the concerts. Traffic is a big issue. I didn't know that you can't go down 191st. We will address that with the police, and we will have Jen put a committee of everyone that could be involved. And we will agree and address with them. We'll have the police come up with a traffic plan to make sure their complaints don't happen. And until we all agree on that whole kind of traffic plan, they'll just keep meeting and talking about it until we come up with a solution that fits everyone to make sure we alleviate traffic going through the neighborhoods on and during concerts. And so then, that's why I asked, if we put a 6-month on there, it covers you during the summer. It's simple. That's when we're gonna have that's when you're gonna have the most people in the area. So like they talked about the drinking and the clinking and clanging and the noise, the lights, the speaker box at the drive-throughs, litter. That's when you're gonna have your biggest chance of success for failure for them is in that window. And so if they pass the sniff test on that, well, then they just continue operating like they do their other businesses. If they don't, well, then we'd have to call them in and we'd have to discuss all any complaints that occurred, and are they able to cure them? Great. If they're not, well, then it's an issue, and then we have to adjust it.
But we have the authority to do that regardless of whether we put any extra conditions on it. I mean, any business here in town, we can call them in before licensing committee and we can question their operations, and we have the authority to do whatever we want on that. So I think adding additional.
I think it's harder on the hours after the fact. That's why I want to put a stipulation for the summer.
Okay, I think it's unnecessary and overly burdensome, and I think it's sticky. But put it to a motion and
And what we could do as part of it too is we could also even put, we could have, I don't know if that would be through Public Works or some community development. Maybe we could do now while it, as is with no buildings, we could do, sound test out there, see what the decibels are now, and see what it's at later, and we could pile that into the whole equation, but, it's up to you guys. I'm just asking you to give 6 months, so you guys could either, like Trustee Mueller said, there's a motion on the table, you could vote as is, yes or no. You could add Trustee Sullivan's to it, or you can add mine to it, so you have 3 options.
well, I'm of a mind to go for a vote now, but if anyone wants to make a motion.
They want it.
I'd like to ask a question. What do you guys think about that 6-month idea?
I know it's gonna be okay. I agree with Trustee Shaw. I can't do your job for you. You're asking me. I think that, I don't think that we're gonna have any issues. So I'm not really overly concerned about the 6 month or 3 month or whatever. But it comes to setting precedents and that sort of thing with other businesses in town. So I think you all need to discuss with yourselves what's the best avenue. Trustee Shaw suggested voting up and down and then doing that as a second amendment, or addendum, or whatever you want to call it. That's a decent idea, but again, I don't know how the structure works beyond. So I appreciate you asking. Well.
Anyone want to make a motion, or should I ask the
Well-
Madam Clerk to call the roll?
Well, I'll start with the motion that I wanted.
You can?
And then we'll see if so I would like to make a motion to reinstate the restrictions on business hours for McDonald's as recommended by the Plan Commission on 12/18/2025, with that being the hours from, what do we say, 5 AM to 11 PM.
Does anyone want to second that? I'll ask one more time. Does anyone want to second that? The motion fails. Does anyone want to make any other motions, or you want to vote as is?
I'd like to make a motion to do the 6 months trial, okay, during the specific time that you mentioned.
May through October.
May through October. I'd like to make that motion.
Does anyone want to second that motion? I'll ask one more time. Does anyone want to second Trustee Brady's motion? That fails for a lack of a second. Colleen and you and I are on the losing end of that
It's
one.
okay. I don't get my way, but
Madam Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
compromise.
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
Trustee Mueller,
Yes.
Trustee Shaw,
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
No.
That motion carries, but again, like Trustee Shaw said, if there's issues, we most definitely can bring it back. But even though it passed, if you could give your information to, what's easier for you, Jen? Work it, contact Pat, or get a committee together. I still want to address the traffic. I want to make sure for the concerts regardless that people aren't cutting through, and we put a stop to that regardless. So.
Are you putting a whole new committee together with the village, or are you?
No, with you and some of the residents, so we could work on traffic, like Jason was mentioning about, you guys said people are cutting through, they're speeding, so could you lead that, Jen, with Pat?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Why can't the city put monitors on the street to see
What was that?
how many times they go past?
All the rubber hoses?
Whatever, yeah, I know there are items out there.
Yeah, how'd that work?
I'd like to try it again. I don't have to send you an email. I'd like to try that again.
Do we, who keeps those?
We have
Us or-
stop signs.
us or
Remember,
public?
we have stop signs on the other side of 80th Avenue,
Who-
every crossing.
Who keeps that stuff? Is that Public Works or the Police Department?
It's us.
So, Chief, can you, get Jason's number from Pat Carr, and then and then between him and Jen, we'll try and get both areas, and we'll put the hoses out. All right, thank you. Item 12, trustee Mueller.
I move we consider adopting resolution 2026-R-003, approving an agreement between the Village of Tinley Park and Midwest Public Safety Group for police in-car video equipment, storage, warranties, and accessories.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Colleen. The village is requesting approval to purchase 30 GTEC in-car video systems to replace the current platform, which is nearing the end of vendor support. Proposed system will move video storage to the cloud, reduce on-prem infrastructure, integrate directly with the village's existing body-worn camera system. Purchase was competitively bid, and Midwest Public Safety was selected as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. The total cost is $186,090 and is funded in the approved fiscal year 2026 capital improvement budget. This resolution is eligible for adoption.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Are there any questions or comments? Madam Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Next, we have item 13, trustee Michael Mueller.
I move we consider adopting resolution 2026-R-008, approving a professional services agreement between the Village of Tinley Park and Municipal Service Consulting, Inc.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I will second that.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Please consider approving a professional service agreement with the Municipal Services Consulting, Inc. This item was discussed at the committee of whole held on January 20th, 2026, and is also eligible for adoption tonight.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Madam Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item number 14, receive comments from the public. Anyone from the public care to comment? Go ahead, Jen. 1 second, Jen.
It's not going to be long, don't worry. I don't have a speech for this one. I just want to say thank you guys for discussing this and talking it over, and I wanted to make it clear, this was never about the McDonald's Corporation. It was about a business operating overnight behind residential for those extra 6 hours. I'm disappointed, yes, that you guys did not want to compromise with the residents and, except for trustee Sullivan. And we'll be back, and we will take what you said, and whenever there's someone speeding, we don't want to be a nuisance to the police department. I think that's kind of crazy, but if that's what you want and that's what you're asking for us to do, we'll do it. But again, this was not about the McDonald's Corporation. It was about any business that was going to want to be operated behind our houses for 24 hours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jen, you're not a nuisance. It's the only way they can help you alleviate that problem. So please push everyone. If it's an issue, call. That's why they're there.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else like to make public comment? Next, we have item 15, receive comments from the staff.
Mayor, can I address this meeting?
Absolutely.
I'd just like to reassure all of our residents there that what the mayor says is exactly right. We've had a lot of really good success in the last month doing targeted enforcement and traffic missions from our patrol division. We track the areas that you tell us are the most dangerous and the most frequent violations of speeding. And so we've worked with our patrol division and our command team to work with our patrol division and get our guys out there in targeted missions to make sure that we emphasize those areas that everybody thinks are the most unsafe. And we're having a lot of success with that. So it's not a nuisance, and we want to hear from you. And our officers are doing a great job taking care of these complaints. So please let us hear from you.
And just to echo what Chief said, the last 4 months, we see every Monday we get a report on the traffic stops. What they've done over the last 4 months is absolutely insane. How many people they're pulling over. They've changed the speed through a lot of parts of town. That 167th and from 84th Avenue to Harlem, well, actually all the way to Richland was a disaster. They nipped that in the butt immediately. 76th Avenue from 159th to 167th, it was, you wouldn't think it, but that's been a speedway. They've nipped that in the butt now, as well. And what the patrol have done in 4 months in that area, because those are the people that are calling and complaining and requesting meetings in groups. And they've addressed it all. Our whole command staff has really hit that area hard with our patrol, and it makes a huge difference. There's guys out there all the time. So just, again, it's not a nuisance. Please keep calling, because that's the only way we have data to show that there is an issue, so that our command staff could adjust where the police are, especially because there's certain times we have more cops, on certain days than others, and so they could adjust that, or even have people work overtime, like I think you said, Pat Carr and I authorized 800 hours of overtime for the strip mall on Harlem between 163rd and 159th, and we put 2 squad cars, when they signed up for the overtime, we put 2 squad cars in Brookside Glen by your house, and we authorized both cars to work 8 hours overtime. Sometimes they signed up for it, sometimes they didn't, but we authorized it, and it made a huge difference. And so, we'll take care of it, but we just need to know the command staff we have in there now is not what you're used to from before, and they get on it and they take care of it immediately, so,
May I just add one more thing?
yes.
I'd just like you to know that we want to make a point of listening to our residents, and we want to make a point of being responsive to their needs. And when we understand that there's an issue, we're going to target it. And when we know that there's an area that's particularly dangerous, we know that there's going to be property damage, there's going to be personal injury, that kind of thing. We want to keep our residents safe, and we want you to know that we hear you. And more importantly, when we're talking about crime that comes in from out of other areas, we're very sensitive to that. And part of the reason that these direct traffic missions are successful, and part of the reason that we're so adamant about conducting them in direct patrols, is it's also a deterrent. They see us active, people see us moving, people see us lessening the speeding effort, and it turns people away from doing something that's not in your best interest. So we want to continue doing that, and really proud of our department for the way they've responded to the challenges over the last 6 months. It's been really effective, and we're seeing that in our weekly statistics. So please let us know, and we'll take you very seriously. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Anyone else? Item 16, receive comments from the board. Anyone from the board care to comment?
I was actually going to put Chief Klotz on the podium here for a second. Congratulations to you and the entire Tinley Park Fire Department for your BLS certification. So that's the Basic Life Safety Certification that you guys just were awarded on January 30th at 3 p.m. You want to tell us a little bit about that and what it means to the department?
Sure, Bob. The fire department is operated under a basic first responder operations, because we currently deal with private ambulance company, but we took the next advanced level to basic life supports, which provides that we now are going to be assisting the current EMS on calls. And it took a lot longer than what I thought it was going to take, a lot of upgrades, but it was definitely a monumental movement in the right direction, and eventually go into an advanced life support stage. But these are the steps that we had to take, which was done by, obviously, the Illinois Department of Public Health. So there's a lot of legal things that we had to get accomplished in that time. So my applaud to the crew that was spearheading this, and it's going to better the community and also our guys by able to providing much better care to our residents.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Chief,
Chief.
under your leadership. Thank you very much.
Any other comments from the board?
I'll just add one more thing. I do want to thank the residents of Brookside Glen for coming out today. It's great that when you advocate for your neighbors, I'm sorry it didn't go in the direction that you wanted it to. But I just also wanted to reiterate that, when you do email me, a lot of the information was kind of the same thing. I knew I was going to be addressing, a lot of these issues tonight, so that's why I figured it'd be, because a lot of times I'm reading my emails at 11 o'clock at night when I'm ready to sit down for the night. But I do read every single email. So if there are concerns, if you have questions, you can email me directly. Don't think I'm just not responding to you. I just knew that we were gonna get people from the Brookside Glen community here tonight. So, and I was waiting for a little bit more information and for more time to go over my notes as well. So I didn't wanna just give a generic, you know, reply back to your email without having all the facts myself. So, sorry it didn't go in your favor. I do hope, you know, for the best in the area. You know, they're a great corporation, no complaints from me. I just wish there could have been a little bit of compromise here, but, we'll see where things go, and if there's issues down the road, which I hope there are not, we're here to address them. So, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anything for executive session? No. May I have a motion to adjourn the regular scheduled meeting?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Madam Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.